Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Local Pundit. I am Josh Anthony. This is your Wrexham latest news and update show for Monday, October 6th, the WREXfast Club. Yes, how is everyone doing? The adults are firing up a workday, and we're just firing up a podcast because, we're not working. So there you go. Awesome. How is everyone doing? It's the start of the grind into the 18th today. Right now is the start of the grind into the 18th. We were dark yesterday because we were supposed to do Ring and Rant. Ken had some stuff to do, and I had family in town, so wasn't able to get anything up yesterday. Sorry about that, but we're here now. We're doing our bits. Hopefully, everyone is having a great day, having a great Monday, had a good weekend, heading off into this week. It's gonna be a long week. It's gonna be a long week to the 18th and next week. But I'll tell you this: what I'm thinking about doing, if I can get the game, and someone in the chat maybe chat to me and let me know what you think. I might do the Wales-England watch along on Thursday if I can get it here. I don't know how I'll get it, but if I can get the game, I'll get the game. I'll be doing the game here for a watch along. So hopefully we'll sort that out, and let me know if y'all want us to do that. But anyways, thanks for coming in. Nikki D is number one. Andrew C is also in the house. Ted's here. Karen is here. Karen, how are you? And Ted says, smash that like button. Yes, please smash that like button. A couple things we're going to do today. I want you to help with the show because, again, there's not much news going on, but we're gonna see you set the agenda. It is a news show, but there is some things I want to talk about. At the week 9 pulse check. The week 9 pulse check. Yes, I don't know who's checking the pulse at week 9, but we are checking our pulse at week 9. I want to go through some of the games. Top of mind, we sit in the game every week, week by week, kicking every single ball. And I wanted to take a little bit of a step back and just have a clear-minded assessment of where I think we're at, looking at some of the games in retrospect. But it's we're just getting started here. We're not even at the first act break of this whole thing. So, and again, I feel like it's been a roller coaster. I mean, it has been a roller coaster. There's been so many things that have already happened, and we're just getting started. Again, we are literally just the first act break. So, anyways, thank you for coming in. Please smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the Local Pundit. We are literally on our way to 3,001. We're this close. We're like 90 away, something like that. So let's get those subs up. Let's break that 3,000 mark and just get over that line and moving on. So, but yeah, help set the agenda today. I want to talk to all of you if you have anything you want to talk about too in the show as I go through where I think we're at on the pulse check for us. Please just show it in the chat. Let's have that conversation. Chris is in the house. What's going on? How you doing, Chris? Nice to see you. Danger C says, "Hey, Josh, when Pat Roberts scored against us right after the break, was it because they were not mentally prepared for the second half, or you just give credit to Brum for really good play?" I'll start there. I'll start there. In my opinion, they caught us cold. That's my opinion. We did not. Parkinson talked about having deflection. They came out cold. We came out cold, and it showed. I think for the rest of the half, where we got punched in the mouth, and that happens. But it's when we came out of that second half, things can happen like that. Like that. You see it happen all the time in other games, but I think that's a mental lapse in the team. And getting on the pitch, all of a sudden they're breaking through, and all of a sudden our 1-0 lead is shut down right there. So in my opinion, we came out cold and we got punched in the mouth, and they capitalized on it, and there it is. I think Parkinson needs to do a better job at preparing them. Yeah, you can cuss and get ready, but you don't score within 20 seconds like that after you get on the pitch. I'm sorry. You just don't. You cannot have that happen, especially against a Birmingham City side that has goals in them. Ruth H is here, says, "Hi, TLPers. But what say you?" Let me go back to this real quick. Andrew C, what do you think about it? I want to have your thoughts. Reliable Express here. Joey Pants is in the house. I love it. And Patty Power says, Sheffield United on course for a 15-point season. At least we aren't Sheffield United. Patty Power. I know. Patty is doing he's doing Champ Chat later on. That is up for a 2:15. That's about 4 hours from now, so that should be fun. Josh, FS2 football or Amazon Prime. Okay, Tommy L. Yes, then if it's on FS2 or on Amazon Prime, I will be watching the Wales and England game for a watch along, so that'll be fun. Good morning, Dave Foster. We got draws on draws on draws. We do have draws on draws on draws. 245 streak in our draws. There are streaks in our drawers. That was funny, Dave Foster. That was fucking funny. Good on you. Well done. Who's going to beat that one for today? We got streaks on our draws. All right, let me just get this out of the way too before we talk about the games and kind of have a recap. And please, get it into the chat. Apparently, we signed a goalkeeper. Apparently, Wrexham have signed a goalkeeper. Who would have known? This is broke today. We signed a goalkeeper. No clue who this kid is. We beat Middlesbrough to a new signing 1-year deal for an 18-year-old. So this happened about 40 minutes ago, maybe earlier. Peter O'Rourke was talking about it. Good shout out to him. Wrexham are set to sign Australian goalkeeper Sam Hocking at a 1-year deal, says Peter O'Rourke. The championship side have reportedly offered the 18-year-old who holds a UK passport a professional contract after he impressed on trial. Hocking spent 4 years with the Australian side Perth Glories Academy from ages 10 to 14 and has recently been playing for the local Perth side, Arndale Soccer Club. Soccer. From the end of 2024, he has had trials with fellow championship sides Middlesbrough and Preston North End, as well as Wigan, Fleetwood, and Stockport. So we are signing a 18-year-old goalkeeper. No clue who this kid is, but he's 18 years old. He won't go against the numbers because not that it matters anyways, because the last 25 is going to be picked up by Ollie Rathbone, who should be getting in training and having a 11-11s this week. So he is under 21. He's 18 years old. Ken must be happy. I don't know. Ken loves a goalkeeper in Aussie, so we shall see. I mean, I don't know what we got him for. We probably got him for a pack of cigarettes. I don't know. I hope he's good. I hope he's the best. I hope he's the best goalkeeper ever. Give him. I hope he's awesome. I don't know why we signed him. 18 years old. We know nothing. Wasn't even announced on the website. There's nothing about him on any of the other websites other than this one, Football League World. But there's an exclusive. So there you go. So Wrexham AFC on their website have not announced it yet. So if it's true, I'm sure it'll come out. Don't know what's that all about, but getting in a goalkeeper at 18 years old. So there you go. But what say you? I just want to go back to this Andrew C. talking about the goal at the Birmingham City. I don't think we were ready for the second half. Andrew C. I got laps in play, and that's what I wanted to talk about too. You actually led me into where I want to go. Laps in play, where we're at, and why. And Patty, by the way, if you're around, you want to pop in, dude. You know how to get in here. I don't know where you're at. I know you're in the chat, but I'm coming in if you want to say hi. I didn't say how tall he was. I didn't get any information on it. But anyways, moving around. I don't think we were ready for the second half. I agree with you on that. But that's what I wanted to talk about, the recap a little bit. So our overall form right now, we're sitting 18th in the table after 9 games. We have signs of life, but, is it a relegation scrap? No. We are so close to, being in the playoffs or being, I think they even said it in one of the interviews. I think it was Dabo said, we could be, we should have 9 more points. And I kind of agree with that. And I think this has been a really frustrating start. If it's frustrating for me and all of us as a fan base, as a supporter base, it has to be frustrating for the team and for Parkinson and everyone else. Am I happy where we're at? Yes and no. I'm talking about both sides of my ass. So we're looking through the games. It's a mixture of narrow defeats, dropping points, not being able to close out the last 20 minutes of the game, whether it be because Parkinson doesn't want to make changes in the middle of the park, or because we're getting hit on the break by Birmingham City, who, coming out the second half and just kind of waxing us, a little bit, and not being a little bit braver. Parkinson is a very conservative, stick to my task, stick to my guns, old school type manager. And, it's gotten him 3 promotions. So who the fuck am I, sorry, Mom, to actually question that? But still, you have to still have some questions. And I have some questions. And yes, injuries do come into play. Tiredness comes into play. Not subbing to get fresh legs on, because other teams have come on, got fresh legs on, and they've come out and they've drawn or beaten us. And I think that is the theme for these first 9 games, is that we're not able to close games out, which makes it very, very, very frustrating. I think the narrative is Wrexham are showing really good sparks, but struggling for that consistency. And Parkinson talks about, I'm going to use that word, I'm going to shoot myself in the toe. The gelling thing, okay, makes sense. It's on the job training at this point. We're professional football players, but gelling, getting into the season right now, there's kind of no excuses at this point. There really isn't. I think we've been inconsistent at best. getting them on the training field, on the training pitch together, learning how their cadence and learning how they play. But there is some really good signs, like early on, Kiefer Moore getting in there, awesome. Issa Kabore, awesome. Right now, you really have to start assessing. Talk about the 10 games in. We really have to start assessing this team of where we are currently at and where we think we're going to go. I think we will go up. I think we will improve. I think we have improved. But there's big gaps and holes that need to be sorted out, where it's charging down that right side, giving up goals, coming out in the second half, a little cold. I think those things need to be looked at. We haven't won a game at home. But we look good in passages of play. Now, Coventry City storming the league at this point for me. I picked them to win, but we are not consistent, and nor should we be that consistent, because there has been so many changes. There has been so much turnover. But for me, the way I came into the championship, I know it's going to be difficult. The owners know it's going to be difficult. Everyone knows, the manager, everyone knows it's going to be difficult. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. That doesn't mean that it's impossible to be successful in this league, even if we're in it, to get to we spent money, we have championship quality players, and we can go back in and spend more money in January. I mean, I think some players need to move on for that to happen. One being like an Elliott Lee, for example. And I say that with love, because I want him to go play football. I don't want to be in a relegation scrap, and I don't want us to keep dropping draws after draws, dropping points, and us to be looking over our shoulder, scrapping. Some of these games that we have dropped over the course, over the course of the last, I'm trying to, I have notes actually. Some of the games where we drop points, I'm going to just start out at the start of the Southampton match. That's a game we should have won. We should have won at least the draw. We should have won. Okay, dropping points there too. West Brom, another game, lost that one. Draw to Sheffield Wednesday. Should have won that game. Should have absolutely won that game. Millwall, good result for Wrexham. Queen's Park Rangers, awful. 3-1, loss there. Norwich City, great game. I thought that's where we were going to turn. 3-2 right there. That was the 20th of September. And then you go into the draw with Derby County. Established side. Home away. I get it. A point away. Leicester City, possibly winnable game, solid away performance, but at a big club. But it's a big week coming up there too. And in the Birmingham City match, 1-1. We were up 1, and they come back. We have the ability to score goals all over the pitch, up and down the pitch. But I think at this point, it's a stutter start. They have flashes of quality. Windass has looked really good. Issa Kabore has looked really good at times. Lewis O'Brien looking really good. Our defense kind of trying to figure it out. But I think if I'm looking at the first 9 games and where we're at in the first quarter of this season, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. It doesn't mean we're not going to improve. I do think we will improve. There are moments of brilliance, but we need to improve. And I think if Parkinson really has to kind of turn his dial a little bit more up, in regards to being a little bit more aggressive, we're not going to get relegated. We're just not. We're just not going to get relegated. But those draws need to be wins. Those losses need to be draws. In order to do that, we have the ability. We have fight in us. We have so much promise. We obviously have work to do. Parkinson keeps talking about that. But when is that going to go away? Like the work to be done on the trade. That window is getting shorter and shorter for that excuse. It's either we are who we are. Either the supercomputer is right, where we're going to be 18th, or we're just going to barely hold on mid-table, or not. But I want to get your thoughts on a little bit of that top of mind. There is, and again, please keep it going here too. Keep the chat going. Keep us going. 3 wins can change everything. I agree with that, Habs. I agree, Habs. Habs, you and I never talk, but here's what I'm going to do. Not that I don't want to talk to you. I'm dropping the chat in. I'm dropping it in today. I was off yesterday with the data. I'm dropping the link in there. Someone wants to come and have their say about these first 9 games. And if anyone's around and wants to talk to me, if they ever do, come in and say hi. Sorry, what's going on with my phone here? Jesus H. Of course, I get live, but there we go. 3 wins can change everything. It can. It totally can. Our next 3 games are Stoke, Somebody put the next 3 up if we can see what they're at. Our next 3 games can change it. You go on a run, a form right here, we can be up the table like that. Good morning, TFP fan. How you doing? Chris said, if we can only make half of them close ones, we would be in a way better spot. Hopefully they start finding the back of the net. Yeah. Why aren't we finding the back of the net more? I have my thoughts. I'll give you them now. But why don't you think we can score goals? There's goals in this team. I think it's because of the tactics that Parkinson's taken up, where it's like absorbing pressure, hitting on the break. It's understanding the team. We said this last year too, and Ivan, who I probably should reach out to Ivan and see if he wants to come on about the tactics. And I know he's not a huge Parkinson fan, but the tactics that I think we're going out there of absorbing the pressure, I don't think some of the players are ready for that. Broadhead, we need to be on the front foot. I really like what Chris Davies has done with his team, getting them on the front foot, having attacking spaces there. The defense is a little shaky, but you know what? When you go out and score goals and you're aggressive, I'd rather be on the front foot than the back foot. And again, fair to me to argue with Parkinson because he has gotten promoted 3 times, but I think some of the talent that we have shows that we should be on that front foot a little bit more. I say in the last couple of weeks, though, Kiefer Moore's been a bit frustrating to me up top. I don't know if anyone else agrees with that. I know he's a really good player. I know he's done really well. And I really like what he's doing, but he's been a little bit of a frustrating player for me up front. Not that he can't score goals, but it's a tough one. Sometimes it's a tough one. Habs is going to come in. I'm going to bring him in right now. Patty, if you're around too, let me know. Habs, what's up, dude? How you doing?
Yeah, how you doing? You all good?
Yeah, I'm good. I have an echo on you though.
On me. Oh, okay. It's probably just my headphones. I'll mute if there's any kind of like things going on with that. But
great.
But yeah, go ahead.
Go. I was saying first 9 games. I was just trying to assess situation. I want to get everyone's thoughts on where we're at. Again, I feel like this is a good stopping point. I know it's not the 10 games we're in, but looking at where we're at right now, it's a good conversation to have.
The thing we should take into consideration is that this is just 9 matches in. It's a 46 match season. There's a lot more games to go, so we've got enough time to change things around. And I did say, as I said back in the old last season's Wrexham time, be prepared for the championship. It is a war zone, and it will be like this. And I know a lot of people are saying we need to gel. We need better gelling. Gelling is a place in Denmark, so.
Denmark, that's funny. I know you and Patty have good conversations. By the way, Patty said Stoke away, Oxford home, and Middlesbrough away. What do you think's gone right and wrong so far?
We've got the squad to be far more aggressive than we should be, but there are moments that we're just not. There are moments of lapses that you notice every so often, and when we get that lapse, we lose quite quickly. We do. It happened in the Derby match. It happened in the Birmingham match. It happened in the Leicester match. Sort of, but that's more so. Like that's something that can be sorted out later on. But it's just those lapses of things. It even happened in the Norwich match as well, where we had just a complete lapse of concentration and just focus, and all of a sudden they just get a goal on us. We should have won that Birmingham match.
I agree. That I think that is my overall take. If I'm going to do my pulse check, I'm very. I think at the last, you probably were. I don't know if you were listening to the watch long. I was insanely frustrated after that match. I was insanely frustrated. I'm not saying Birmingham City are on a good side, but again after again, I felt like 1,000 paper cuts of just us dropping points. And the 46 minutes in is like, what is it, 30 seconds in, and he scores a goal. That was a frustrating one. Things that should be worked out. Parkinson will do it, but that's my overall take. Is that it's very frustrating.
You got to give it time. That's the only thing. Of course, you're going to have that initial instant match reaction after post match, where you're just
Yeah.
going to be effing and blinding and just thinking, this is your fault, Parky. This is your fault. That's just an instant emotional reaction. That's just going to happen anyway. But it's not really. This isn't. I mean, from what we've found out, I mean, that the biggest issue that we have, it's that lapse of concentration. All of a sudden, that always gets us for some reason. I don't know what it is. It may just be that there is no that place in Denmark where we're not functioning well, where we're just not making that moment stick together. There must be something that's happening there in between, and then it's just the reactive and really late subs, which are killing us.
I that's my top. That was the other thing I was saying too. I'm gonna take I'm gonna give the negatives and then we'll give the positives. Yeah, the late subs not going in, and you have talent on the bench. You do. It's there for the taking to support. I mean, when they make subs, we don't make subs. We just hold the line. And I think that might be our Achilles heel right now.
I mean, there's a reason why, and a lot of old school managers do this as well, is where they want to keep the best players out as long as possible before they put on their newer squads or anything like this. But there's a pattern I'm starting to notice with certain players, even this far in, and you can see it with Moore. He's like, for example, Moore. He's really good for the first 60 to 65 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he has a steep decline. He does. Like, he starts wearing out very quickly.
Yeah, because like you said, he's a foul merchant. He gets his ass kicked. You said it on like 2 shows ago with Patty. I think it was a reaction show you guys did, or sorry, a Breakfast Club show. It was crazy. But his decline is big, like really big. But that leads me to believe that maybe he doesn't quite trust Sam Smith yet because he's coming off that double surgery.
It might be the case, but the thing is that you can get the maximum amount of effort in Kiefer Moore. I think he'll be. The thing is, I think he'll be much better coming on just after the first half. Really, I'd say put him on straight after, because he has a steep decline in performance. It is his peak performance. I see goes around the 30th to about 50th minute, and then all of a sudden it just keeps declining after the 60th or 65 minute, and you can see how tired he gets because he's getting battered at the same time. But at the same time he is a bit of he's trying to look for those fouls as well at the same time. So it's gonna end up costing us, and I would say you need fresh legs much earlier, because if you don't get them in, you just end up screwing yourself over then.
And that's why I know it's interesting as I say this. I'm taking the pulse check now. I want to watch the Welsh. I want to watch the Welsh England game on Thursday, because I want to see how Broadhead, if he starts. I want to see how Kiefer, if he starts. I want to see how they play in a different system. I want to see if there's something there. And taking the assessment of these first 9 games. And granted, we do have a good sample size right now of what's happening. I know the team is in full complete, but I want to actually see them in another system and see how that goes down. There's John Merrill. How you doing, John? Pop in if you want. Yeah, that's my take on this. I want to see how they play, and I want to see a little bit more Broadhead. I want to see how he plays in another system.
It's going to be a lot different when you do international. International football is completely different.
Oh, for sure.
It's completely different. It's so different.
I still want to get a look at him. I still want to see how what they have to offer. Esteban, by the way, says I'm actually a bit frustrated with Moore in the Birmingham match. It was almost felt as though we were saving himself with the internet. He was saving himself with the international break. I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't think it might be. It might have been on his mind at the time, but he knows. But the thing is, though, international football is a lot different in the way you'd have your mindset for that. Because once you're in camp, you're in camp. But they are short camps, and most of the time, most footballers are just in club mode as opposed to international mode. And the thing is that I'm sorry to say, because I am an England supporter in this. I'm not a Welsh supporter, even though I support a Welsh team. You're going to be up against a team that's not going to allow you to get the ball in any way possible. This Thomas Tuchel England squad is going to be. You saw the kind of damage they did to Serbia
Oh yeah,
They're not get.
but England's I've watched England for the last 15 years, just because of certain reasons. But they're a frustrating side too, because they're not on the front foot either. So there you go.
I think it's gonna be different this time though, because they got Tommy Tuchel. He's doing some. I think he's working something out, and it's starting to become a bit lethal with them.
Yeah.
So
well, he sat Jude, which is great. And by the way, I think we have a debut, Habs, if you're ready.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Cameron.
You crack me up. So funny.
Hi.
Every time you say that, we laugh.
Good. I'm glad.
It's not a debut.
I was.
Oh shoot! Hold on, I screwed this up. Wait a minute, I screwed it all up. Is that a debut? There we go. Hi, Karen.
Hi, everybody.
Have you been on before? Did I miss this?
Yeah, but not with my camera. I was home and I wasn't feeling it.
Okay.
So now I'm at work and I really am like sick of working. So I'm like, I'm gonna go chit chat with.
Yeah, talk to
my
Habs.
friends. Yeah. So let me just say that this has been going through my head for a couple weeks. Mark, my husband Mark, he's from North Wales, and we have this conversation about this home and away thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're thinking it's not really home for this team. This team, their dad isn't buried under the pitch. They didn't go to the games when they were kids. These are just players. They're really good players. But what's the connection? Nothing. Not yet. Maybe over time it's going to develop, right?
Okay.
But the feeling of playing in the Kairos doesn't mean anything really for half of this team. But when they're really good is when they get in a really good stadium. Like a legit professional league level stadium. We have in America, you go to college stadiums and they're like fantastic.
Yeah.
They're bigger than anything, you see, right? In the EFL on these, the lower down you go, the stadiums, they look like high school, kind of, And I'm wondering if it doesn't have something to do in their head about playing at a good stadium and they play great. And then they go to a kind of a crappy stadium and they don't play so good. Like it's not emotionally home.
They're not quite there yet. I'll pass that one to Habs because I don't know. What do you think? Because I don't want to get between you and your husband. I'm to be honest. So I'll let Habitation do that.
It's less so to do with it's more to do with familiarity and getting used to each other. I mean, thing is that this doesn't feel like a home match because they don't feel like it's a home match just yet. For a lot of the players, it does because they've already played this season in the Kairos, but most of them don't. They're all new to each other completely still, and they're still just trying to work out the kinks. So at the same time, it's going to be a home match, and there's going to be a bit of a desire to want to make sure that you've got to win at home. They're going to have that feeling because everyone wants to win at home. But at the same time, there's the issue of they're still new. They're still trying to work each other out. Sure, they're getting used to each other now more and more, and you're starting to see more styles of play that is quite foreign to most Wrexham players. Well, sorry, most Wrexham fans, which we're not used to seeing, but something that is completely outside of the frame. But look at everything. Look at the way we've played at home with the previous teams that we had. So previous seasons we've had in the lower divisions. We play very defensively. This squad is not a defensive style. I mean, they can play defensive, but they're not a defensive style squad. They're an aggressive. They're much more of a heavy pressing squad. We can deal with out of possession, but we love to have a bit more possession than we should have. So, and we will score. We will come after you. We will press you more than we would have instead of just soaking up the pressure, catch the ball, go on the counter, go on the transition, and try and get that goal on the other end. We don't do it. We're less so that now. We're more build up, find the positions, build up to it, keep the ball going forward. We will keep pressing. If you notice when we have O'Brien, Windass, and Moore, whenever it is, they're always probing. They're always probing in. They're always going in, and you can always see it. They're just trying to go after them. And once they get it, they're going on the attack. I mean, we're going to get there. I would say that we're going to start noticing an uptick in efficiency as well as tighter passing, because we're starting to see tighter passing angles, more triangles being deployed. It's Paddy's favorite shape.
And on that too, so you talk about getting there, Karen. How long are you got to give before the gelling thing is like not the excuse anymore?
Well, that's the thing. I don't, like you said,
But
that's the argument. That's the argument, right? Oh, they're new to each other. These are professional football players. Like, if I'm hired at my level in my job, that I am on a team at work, and we are highly paid professionals doing something, you expect a certain level of, yeah, okay, you have to get used to each other, but like you say, how long? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like once that building is built and the stadium is like getting world class and stuff, I think something's going to change. But of course, that's next season, right? We don't have that luxury to wait that long.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's more between the ears of the psychological factors more than, oh, they just have to get used to each other. I mean, yeah, it's 9 games. Okay, what, 10, 11, 12?
Mm-hmm.
How many do you stop saying that? Like, they're every day together, or whatever their schedule is, how they train, right?
I guess there's always progression, but I just want to okay, so how long are we going to give that? Which is fine. I understand it, but there's always progression. I don't want to start leading on that. Andrew C. kind of agrees a little bit. Do you think the cop stand construction has anything to do with our home record? Me personally, I'm like you said, they're professional football players. And I'm going to bring in John there too. This atmosphere will have small impact, but the main difference is that most teams in this league simply won't fear coming to Wrexham. And we'll see it as a place to pick up points and won't be as defensive.
I agree. It's not the fortress anymore because it's not our home. It's just where we play. And so something has to click where, like, if you watch the documentary in the very first season, people are sharing their lives. Like, this is their life. They're raised their kids there, their dads and moms, and there's generational connection at this stage, because of course we want to grow, we want to progress. So we have to lose something, and that's what we're losing. Like, we're losing that, connection to it.
The thing is, though, Karen, the thing is, though, the same can be said to John Merrill's team, Birmingham. The same can be said to people in Southampton. The same can be said for pretty much every team in England and every team in Wales. They will have the exact same feeling as well. The difference is right now is that we're in the Championship. I warned everyone this. It's going to be that difficult. It is going to be this tough, and we've got an entirely new squad, effectively, that we're using. And this squad, we have to give it time. You want my personal assessment on this is it's going to take really a full head-on season until we've become completely solidified as a squad. Because quite frankly, that's what it took for when Rob and Ryan took over Wrexham. It took about 12 games for us to be able to get ourselves going, but it took at least a season for us to be fully. So we got the full set of core players that we had that are going to be there. And what happened afterwards? We got promoted the season after. It's going to take a full season to be fully embedded in the system.
Yeah.
So
you're probably right. Probably right about that. I think that's not their plan. Okay. That's my feeling is American owners, Canadian owners, their plan is like a business plan, and it's not to hang out for a season. But the reality is football is a sport. So let's just, we're all supporting anyway. Like, none of us are walking out. I'm not walking out on this team.
Karen,
this is my team. This is my team. My husband won't wear this shirt. He buys me the shirt, but he won't wear the shirt.
By the way, Steve Barton just gifted 5 local Pundit Wrexham AFC podcast memberships, and apparently John Merrill got one because he's definitely supporting our club now. There we go. So there we go.
Good job.
Sorry to interrupt you too. So on that note, Habs is going to give the full. Habs, you think you're going to give the full season? Karen, will you give the full season to get acclimated, or because I'm not in the. I'm being as ambitious in my support as I think Rob and Ryan are. And granted, that's just me sitting in the chair in the hospital room. So there you go.
Yeah, I think it's going to be quicker than the full season. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised as time goes on. It's just my feeling about it. I mean, I'm new to the sport, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm feeling more more optimistic than say wait for the whole season and maybe we finish mid-table. I just don't think so. Like I said, I picked him to finish second. So let's just see. You know, I really feel optimistic about him. It's fun to watch, though. Really, it is.
Yeah, and Ciro does not agree with Habs, but I think that's a good thing conversation. But Habs has his reasons. He's you know, so I got to give him credit for that. What do you take on that?
I mean, the thing is that with the kind of squad, we've got a completely different formation. We've got a completely different squad. We are. I mean, if you take a look at last season, right? Even though we brought in new additions, we still had the same core group of players that we had the season prior to that and the season prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a lot easier. We could do a plug and play situation like that. This is the championship. There are people scouting right now in the Premier League, or there are people scouting right now in the Bundesliga, or in the Liga, or in Serie A, or in anywhere. People are looking to like nick someone from your squad. If they see some diamonds there, they're just going to take them. They're going to give you an offer, and you've got to get it. And it is that quality that you're going to have to develop over the course of the season. Now, you're right. It does take some. It will take a lot less until the squad has been completely embedded with each other, and they get used to each other completely. But it will take like at least a full season to build a new core effectively.
Mm-hmm.
So a new core squad that can function, and then when you bring in new additions, that's when you can do the plug and play situation where you can build the new quality. Because it's not going to take. Because I don't believe we're going to go up this season.
You don't?
I don't know. No, it's the championship. It's too much.
It's too. You think it's too big? By the
way, but they've been saying that for the last 4 years, like every single season.
Yeah,
every season, and then people are dumbfounded, like, "What? How did that happen?" Honestly, I really think it's a business model, and they're going to work this thing like Mint Mobile and Aviation Gin and all the other businesses that this guy has. Like, they're just going to bulldoze this thing. I mean, that's just my feeling. So I'm going to let you all go. I'm going to continue to listen, but I got to kind of get back to work. So
thank you, Karen. Nice to meet you. I'm going to have you on. Get back to work. The adults are firing up a work week, but we're not over here.
Okay. Take care.
Right. Bye, Karen.
Bye.
Not a debut, but a debut on camera. By the way, Ciro's going in on you, Habs, all day. I'm going to by the way, Steve Bart with the $5 super chat says 30+ points by Christmas. I stand by my prediction. Well, I think I would love that. I would love that. And by the way, Esteban is one of the adults firing up a work week. He's gonna have a beautiful day. So do you want to take this on, Ciro? Send vote nice in full season. I think what he's saying is going to be challenging. He's not. I don't think he's flip flopping. Yeah, but to this point,
both can be true. Both can be true. It's going to take at least a full season till we develop a full on core of players. Of a full on depth. Sorry, what's the right word? Till our squad is fully embedded and becomes the new core set of players, because we still have legacy players from the previous seasons. 10-12 games is like, okay, that's when we're starting to see the effects of Denmark working on there. So,
and by the way, to your point, you can start playing better, but still not get promoted. You know what I mean? We can start seeing the passages play. It doesn't mean we're going to get second or third place. You know what I mean? So that they said two things are true at the same time, and it's a good shout by Ciro. And also, by the way, Ciro, happy to come in and have your say as well. And this what's great about the community. Awesome conversation. And by the way, smash that like button and subscribe. Let's get to that 3,001 like sooner than later, so I can stop talking about it. Dave says we have to improve. We have improved greatly over the last few weeks. I break down the season into 11 match segments. I desire 15+ points for each. We are close. We are close. Do you agree with that?
We are. I mean, we're improving every match. You can see it. I mean, every player. I mean, look at Max. Look at the beginning of this season. Just look at the last season. The way he wasn't as comfortable with the ball. You look at the beginning of the season. He wasn't quite as comfortable. Now he's just passing the ball like he's been playing under Pep for 10 years. Well, not that's just an exaggeration, but you can see the changes in the way we're playing as well. We've got a completely new formation. Some of our legacy players have never played like this.
Yeah. Even AO.
Even AO. Arthur's having to start playing out from the back. You're seeing him starting to play out the back from the back as well, which is not what he's used to. You can see how uncomfortable he is, but he's building up to that as well. That's why That's why we have goalkeepers like Danny Ward who know how to play that style, who know how to do all those kinds of stuff. But he doesn't have that kind of ceiling that Arthur has. But Arthur's going to have to build into that this season, which I think he will. He will get to that point.
He will.
But I mean, with Ciro, when he was saying that kind of thing, I mean, it's gonna take a full season to be fully embedded in the system completely, wholesale wise. In the same way that it took us a full season in the National League to be completely embedded wholesale wise. But
yeah, the first 9 is signs of life. Still sitting low on the table, could be higher. This whole gelling thing, injuries don't help, but every team's going to have injuries throughout the season. If we continue to improve, even though we're not going up the table right now, I think there will be some real good positives. And by the way, from SoCal says Max is saved. And John Merrill, our new Wrexham supporter, Habs is right. Such a turnover in squad will take a hell of a long time. History in football shows us, yes, it could take less, but that's usually unlikely.
It happens to everyone. I mean, you could have a complete turnover of your entire squad. Doesn't mean you're gonna win everything. I mean, look at the biggest clubs in the Premier League right now. I mean, look at Chelsea. They had a massive turnover of a squad in there when they got purchased by, what was it? Bowley.
Yeah,
by Todd Bowley. I mean, that they spent $1 billion. They did. Over $1 billion, and they don't have the same. They did not work like that at the beginning. It's only now that they're really starting to embed in their situation. For us, it'll be less so like that.
Even Enzo's just starting to play good for them. You know what I mean? You got the kid from Esteba, who's one of the best, probably other than Yamin Lamal, he's probably the number 2 or 3 attackers that are the best in the world right now at that age. You got the Kubarsi over in like Barcelona as well, too, as a center half. But that's one of the best young players in the world, and they're just starting to get in there too.
I mean, the thing is that and I can understand why Ciro has that opinion in terms of thinking that the 10 to 12, both things can be true, my friend. Both things can be true. I mean, once things start coming into play, once you start getting used to each other after 10 to 12 matches, that's when we should really start assessing things, and we should be getting things rolling. But to be fully, like, having that complete knowing of each other, that's going to take a season. That's going to take a full head-on season for us to be completely set in our ways, knowing what we're doing, and knowing where the passenger player is, be able to modify any kind of like training that we need to do to be able to have better space, finding better spaces, finding better passing, having tighter passing, being able to outplay the players that we have. Yeah,
anticipating what your guys are going to do, which also also helps out a lot too. I know that one of the guys up front is going to stay home, and the other guy's going to go short. They understand what the understanding is. I totally think that too. Tommy Elson here too says it's like a rebuilding year, but hopefully sooner. I think so. I rebuild, but still could be successful. And it might take a full year, says Sirio, to install becomes a second nature. But the conversation started with Josh asking, when does it stop being an excuse? There'll be a whole new squad, etc. He says, I think the excuse ends soon. I said, when did I say? I think I'm going to give it to October 31st. That whole, like, this is it. This is the season. We 12, 13 games in. We can't stop using. I know what to think, like you said. This is our side. We know we're playing. We know our best 11 and possibly our 2. And then when does it come to the fact that Parkinson needs to use that squad so we can go and be productive, get on that front foot? I think that ends for me on Halloween. That's it. The gelling thing ends for me. I don't know if you want to take a whole year for that.
No. I mean, the gelling thing, 10 to 12 games, right? You should know where you are at least right now, and then you should be improving each time. Everything should be getting better and better and better after that point. But I think it also comes down to expectations as well. Fan expectation is, for some, it's going to be way overblown for some.
Yeah,
because
fair.
this is the championship. I don't think people quite understand. I need people to understand. This is the championship. This is not the National League. This is not League Two. This is not League One. You can get away with a lot in those leagues. But you cannot get away with this kind of stuff, especially when you've got trying to get again. We got what? We got Stoke and we got Middlesbrough in next 3 games.
Stoke, Oxford, Middlesbrough. Yeah, I mean that's a fucking lineup there.
Like Oxford, we can deal with. We should win that match quite easily. But Stoke and Middlesbrough, you can see the way they're playing. They are not going to. If we try to have any moments with them where we're going to, like any minor mistake, it's going to screw us over. So,
yeah. Steve Barton has a hot take, $5 super chat. Barton, hot take. We will be sneaking into the playoffs. I think playoffs for me. That's what I want. That's what I want to do. For me. And John Merrill, thank you, by the way, Steve Barton, for that super chat. I totally agree with you. I don't think Habs does. I think before we move on to the next one from John, you're not seeing playoffs?
If we can sneak off into the playoffs, that would be a great thing that we could achieve. But if we can just get anywhere between 14th or 10th.
14. Yeah, someone else. 14 to 10 right there. That's 0, he says. 14 to 10. Or 10 to 14. Yeah. Okay. And then John says, plus elephant in the room, it's easier to bring in new players in the likes of League One and League Two and hit the ground running simply because those leagues are utter garbage. Championship is a different beast. And by the way, to that point, and this is no shout or no shade on anyone too. Look how great Jack Marriott's doing down at Reading. He's crushing it. He's crushing it. That's his level.
It's a different level when you're in the championship, especially because you have to look at it in terms of the bottom end of the championship to the top end. And when you're at the top end, this could even, it all depends on the kind of quality you have, even on the top end of the championship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at what's it called? You look at Leeds, right? They were pretty much dominant all last season in the championship. They were absolutely dominating the league. So I mean, and they're now in the Premier League, and they're doing fine. They're able to survive. It doesn't look like they're going to be relegated from the way they're playing.
Yeah, I think they'll stay up. I think they actually look really good. According to Will Ferrell, he hopes they stay up as well. Chris says, I'm not giving up the playoffs easier. The W's are in the mail. Where they're coming. That's a good shout. That's another one today. Good for you. And see, my expectation has moved 10 to 14. They said, and Steve Barton, another 5 Wrexham AFC local Pundit memberships. Thank you, dude. Yeah, absolute friggin' legend. And I can't wait to see Windass and Brody and the hamster on the field at the same time. I don't know how they do that. And LOB, he says LOB. How do you get those guys on the pitch at the same time? And do you think it's coming soon?
It depends on how we use them. To get all those kinds of players together, it really depends on what Parky wants to fit them into, and how to use them specifically within his formation. I mean, we would have to move Windass out and probably put O'Brien up there, or we'd have to put O'Brien at the back and have Windass up front with Broadhead, and then we'd have to move Dobson out.
Yeah. Do you think Dabo is droppable at this point? I mean, I think he's doing well, but
the thing is that he's improved massively. That's one thing. It just depends on the situation with Rathbone. How good is he going to be? It's hard to know. And Rathbone, it's going to take him some time because he's been injured out for so long. How good is he going to be on his return?
Right.
Till Thanksgiving.
For him to get up to speed? No, sorry. At least he'll, if he comes on. So now we're thinking like the 18th is our next game, right? Maybe at least 2 weeks, at least the early part of November.
Yeah, it's going to take him. It will take him some time. He'll probably get up to speed within that time frame. But again, it's a hard one to tell, and we don't know what level of performance he's going to be at as well within that time frame because by that point everyone else has gone up a level and they're going to be much more used to each other.
Yeah,
and the more embedded they are into their squad, it may just be the case where it'll be a lot easier for him to be in that plug and play situation where we can move them out. But then, for all we know, Dobson could have improved significantly from that point onwards. But I don't know how much.
It's interesting. There's such a mix of the feelings of how it's gone. Just like flashes of quality up front with Windass and Moore, Broadhead coming in, the defensive lapse. I mean, it's almost like we're fixing things as we go on the way. Fix the defense, okay? Fix the scoring. Like we were scoring pretty easily. Now we're kind of not, and their defense was fucked up. We're getting scored on left and right, up down that line because the Maka was in there. So like we haven't quite had that consistency. It's a really mixed bag at this point. And fair play. Parkinson, I think will figure it out. Hopefully sooner than later. We start climbing the table. Coming back in with Stoke, that's not going to be an easy game. They always talk about Stoke on a Tuesday night under the rain. That's kind of old school, like mid 2000s, 90s thinking. But if we can, I thought we could have won both of the matches against Leicester City and against Birmingham City, and that kind of kicked us right into Paul Mullins, going into this break. Even though they're good points, I predicted a draw against Birmingham City, but I'm hoping to come out of this. It's not going to be easy coming out, but I'm hoping Libby will be back. I don't know.
We're kind of just in a stuck situation. We are, so it's almost like a catch-22 for that. But I mean, we're going to improve. That's one thing. I mean, we're in the. We'll have to find a way where we can fit each one of our players in and see how it works out. Because we're just kind of figuring things out as it goes along. I mean, everyone's pretty much doing it in the league anyway. So we're not the only ones. And they're not going to let us rest. They're not going to rest on their laurels. And they're not going to expect to wait for us to do that. So.
Well, I think John's right here, too. He knows the league. Parkinson won't change anything against Stoke or Barrow, especially dropping a midfielder and force like Dobson. He's not going to agree with that, too. And Alex doesn't like the formation, just O'Brien and Dobson, and bring on Brody. Don't want to have Parkinson hasn't done it because Parkinson is not going to – what we think he should do, he's not going to do it. I mean, he just won't unless it's staring him right in the face. And, I don't – he is just – that's the type of manager he is, and anyone – anyone can question it, but he'll say, well, I got us back-to-back promotions. Go fuck yourself, So
the thing is, our right side is pretty much solid.
Yes.
Our right side is pretty solid. We've got Max, we got Kabore or Barney, we got Windass, and we got
not Lewis O'Brien, Chafe.
Chafe, yeah. And our right side is completely solid, but our left is shaky. It isn't as comfortable in the same way. I mean, at the back we're generally okay with Doyle and Brunt, but then when we get to O'Brien is good, but he pushes hard, and that's what I want him to do, is to push forward. But he can. But initially, he was really more so defensive as a DM, and he could do the Dobson role quite easily. But then we would need someone we need that Libby role filled in as well, because that side is just not. It's Ryan, not at the same level.
Ryan's played good. He's not at that level. Ryan's and Maka, forget about it. Maka 5 minutes a game for me, and that's no shot. That's just, I hate saying that, but Maka no. C. Barton says AO, Cleworth, Hyam, Brunt, Kakache, Shafe, Rathbone, Thomason. Kabore, Broadhead, Windass, Moore is his best 11 in his opinion. It's not a bad shout. But a couple of Thomason, we think we know enough about Thomason yet. We just don't.
We don't really know much about what he could do. I mean, we've only in a full match, we've only ever seen him in a cup match against Reading. That's really about it.
By the way, sorry, Matt Klepper coming in hard. I don't agree our right side being good enough. Max is low-tier championship level. Oof. Matt Klepper just put all his chips on the table right there on Max. Save Max. Hashtag
save Max.
I should say Max. I'm the one that dropped him already. Jesus Christ. All right, buddy. Dude, it's great talking with you. It's a good shout. Top of the line. Give me your top of the line. What you think of the first 9 games, your assessment. Your pulse check. Give us your pulse check, and we'll get everyone out of here. It's been a good show. It's been a good conversation.
One thing I just wanted to say beforehand as well. I saw Conor Cody on Sky Sports.
You did do. And?
Yeah, I was just wondering, what was he doing? Because he was with Carragher and the other guy, I can't remember his name. They were talking about the Newcastle and the Forest match.
With Neville? Was it Neville? Gary Neville?
No, it was some other guy, but it was Jamie Carragher and Connor Cody just talking about the Newcastle and Forest match. I was thinking, what are you doing over there?
What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing? Maybe maybe there's something we don't know because he's not been around, right?
He's been dropped and he's doing Sky Sports commentary now. That's his job now.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he was going to be better. I thought he'd be in the side, but I guess something will reveal itself, and also to things will pop up. We'll hear more things. I didn't see that obviously because I'm in the States, but yeah. All right, brother. Good talking to you. Good to have you in. And thanks for the contribution. So yeah, last words to you.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, pulse check wise, we'll improve. We got some hard matches coming up, but they should be good things to test us out. We do need to start subbing earlier. I think we should start getting Smith on around the 65th minute at some point, because he needs to get his legs working to be able to do it. Because he runs. Because we saw it in the Leicester match. He will run around like a maniac. Maybe he's got something to prove as well. He's probably got that psychological edge to want to prove something.
Yeah,
but we are on an upward trajectory right now, and it's going to get better as well. And at some point, when we get to around by the end of this year or the beginning of January, we're going to see where we really are as of right now, squad wise overall, and we're going to see what's going to happen. It's going to happen, but just give it some time. That's what it is.
Will do. All right, brother. Good to have you in, man. Always welcome, as you know.
No worries. All right.
We'll talk this week. All right, Habs.
All right. See you in a bit.
See you, bit. Yeah, Habs and Karen were in the house today. Yeah, again, firing up the work week with the pulse check on week 9, which is great. We got a lot to do for the next 2 weeks in regards to we'll get shows up. Maybe we'll have more. Maybe we'll have some interviews coming in. I'll try to get some people on so we can have their takes on it too. So, but yeah, it's for the next 2 weeks, obviously, getting through the second in almost consecutive, couple weeks here of an international break sucks. But we'll do it. A lot of fun. We got a lot. I'll plan some stuff out. We'll have some people on, have some fun. But thank you for coming in. Please like and subscribe, share out. Save Max is saved. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you. And yes, let's get over 3,000. All right, let's get over 3,000. Awesome time. But it's an awesome conversation. Thank you, Karen, for coming in. Habification chat was chatting today. I really appreciate it. And get your thoughts into chat, into the comments after as well. Love to hear what everyone has to say afterwards too, if you don't catch it live. So thank you. Hold on. Wait, I'd love to see what you guys have to say, after the show. So awesome. Good. Thanks for the contribution. And Alex, I'm getting married in Italy next week. Well, congratulations, my friend. That's fantastic. Where are you getting married? That's best wishes to you. I got married in Lake Como. That is Lake Como on my arm there. One of the best days of my life. So good on you, and keep us posted on how that goes. And we're all rooting for you. Anyways, good chat today. Smash that like and subscribe. And on that bombshell, we will see y'all soon. Oh, don't forget, Champ Chat later on. Patty is doing that too. And on that bombshell, see y'all soon.